ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Two Fat Guys Talking Flowers, where we're always going to give you the good, the bad, the ugly about flowers. I'm Fern, here in the room with Joelle. We got Ryan on Zoom. We got Mike at Jeff Fresh North Country on Zoom. We have Mimi being held captive in Captiva. She took the name very serious. And our awesome, amazing, very unique guest is none other than Lori Novak, AIFD, CFD.
All right.
I feel like I can hear myself better through this setup, Joelle.
Yeah, but I don't hear applause from Joel. Did he push the applause button?
The applause.
Yeah, I did.
That we don't hear.
Okay.
Yeah, we realized that the sound bar doesn't, because it's going outward in a different. Yeah, that's the only thing that's different. So his sound effects, we won't hear it through the setup. So that's the only.
That's like that's the surprise that you get. You know, it's part of the surprise when you listen to the finished podcast. And you hear all the things that Joelle throws into it and all the little funny musics and sounds, you know, it's part of the charm.
And it's ironic because I asked them to add new sound effects for this episode. So.
Well, we'll hear it later.
Joelle, for the fatties, Joelle figured out a tweak to the setup so that we could hear each other better because some of our guests on Zoom, sometimes I talk a little softly. And some of our guests couldn't hear everything or it wasn't crystal clear. So Joelle fixed the setup. Round of applause for Joelle.
Joelle.
Lori, welcome.
Thank you.
You're so quiet over there. Are we scaring
I know.
you?
Well, no, not really. I just don't know where to jump in or what to say at this point. So.
No, this is very simple. We want to know where you came from, how you got started, what brought you into this amazing industry and you to these heights that you've reached. We want to hear everything in between. How did it start?
Oh, okay. Well, I am a second generation florist. I have a retail flower shop in Rancho Cucamonga, California.
That's a real name?
That's a real name. Yes.
That's from the movie. It's from the movie Friday. I'm in Rancho Cucamonga. I didn't think that was real.
It's real. It's real. Actually, yeah. Actually, some of the people in that movie, one of them actually was in our neighborhood because Snoop Dogg's grandma lives in my neighborhood. So, because Snoop Dogg lives just down the way in Claremont. But anyway, I've never run into, we always tried to, when we went trick-or-treating, we always made sure we would go to that house just in case he would be there. The kids always wanted to see that.
Yeah, I could see.
That would be the house I would go to, too. Yeah,
but unfortunately,
there must have been a lot of smoke coming out of the windows of that house.
I would walk by there very slowly. I'd be like, I'm going to catch him there.
Right. You would occasionally see some pretty cool looking cars there, but that's about it, you know. So,
it's his grandma's.
Yeah, his grandma's house. Yeah. So, so like I said, I'm a second generation florist. My shop, we do all different kinds of things, like most flower shops, mostly retail. We do, you know, some events, weddings, things like that everyone else does. I became a member of AIFD in 1989. I went to my very first symposium in 1988, and
wow.
Yeah, I know I'm old. What can I say? So
no,
so
flower people don't age.
It takes a lot to look like this, right? It takes a lot to cover up the wrinkles. But anyway,
tell me about it.
I became very, very hooked on AIFD. It's one of those things that I've attended every symposium except one since 1989, and that's only because I had just had a baby. So, and it was going to be too difficult to do all of that. But anyway, it is one of those things that it just really sparks your creativity. You see all of it coming together. And then when you see what these amazing designers can do and their creativity, it just, you know, even though I hear from people different things like, well, I don't know that I could use that in my flower shop or that sort of thing, but you can always take something from what you learn and make and inspire you to do something. And as far as like what I see you guys doing, you do an amazing job of, showing people all different kinds of products and things like that. It's really changed so much because of social media and all of the different, things. It's progressed so much that it really, I think, helps a lot of designers, go and look at things that you've done or that designers that you've had. I know you guys are, didn't you guys invent the Iron Man challenge or something like that? It wasn't that. I thought that was one of your original ideas that I just saw Derek Woodruff won at Flora Expo. So that's pretty cool, really cool. So
I don't think you can claim that.
They invented a game show where you have some sort of handicap and you have to, they did it at our Fresh Fest last year. And it was a lot of fun, and
it was
coming back.
Too much fun, if you ask me.
It's a lot of fun. It's coming back. Fern and his partner. Are we allowed to say that you guys are coming back together? Aceberry and the Fern are partners for life in that game show because they became brothers from other mother.
We were separated at birth. Nobody knows how
they
or
are
why,
hilarious.
But we were separated at birth.
They are hilarious.
We share
they
one
really
brain.
Put on a hell of a show. I can't wait for the next one.
It was a lot of
Did
fun.
you see it? Did you see it, Lori? They had like two florists wearing the same shirt, and they had to work out of two different arms. And there was all kinds of crazy fun stuff, and everybody was cheering and yelling, and it was just a lot of fun. People that florists and non-experienced were playing together. So it was fun.
No, I didn't get to see that, but I might have to look that up because it sounds like a lot of fun. I had an opportunity to work with Fern and Mimi last year on procurement for AIFD, which is a big job, as you know, trying to source products and things. And so I got to know them a little better, which was really, really nice because Fern likes to just tell it like it is. And that's the kind of person I am. So I appreciate that. I like, I always tell people you can't offend me. So because
Love
it
that.
just let me
give
know.
us an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. So
give us an hour without Ryan babysitting us. And then,
right.
You need 10 minutes then.
Yeah. So so I also my other job with volunteering over the years, being a symposium coordinator 3 other times, and I am again going to do it next year. I will be the symposium coordinator for 2025 in Palm Springs. I have served, on numerous committees. I've been on the national board, and now my job is partner development, which is a great job because I get to work with all of the partners that support us for Symposium and throughout the year. So I get to work very closely with Mimi and Fern again, and just and now Ryan to kind of, make sure that we get your name out there. Again, social media, I see you guys everywhere. I see you guys supporting so many of our members, so many of the people in the floral industry. We want to be able to support you as well. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. And last year was the first time that Jeff Fresh had been specifically involved in procurement. And now this year, your guys are working with Renee. So, and I hope it's going well. I hope we haven't made you too more crazy than you already are. How's that? So
Renee Tucci's a fatty. She can have whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the best and maybe most dangerous part, that I just can't say no to Renee. How do you say no to her?
Right.
But wait a second. You skipped over a lot of history there. So,
Okay.
I know we want to talk AIFD, and I know that in 1988 you went to your first symposium, but did you always want to work in the flower shop? Did you grow up working and just, took over? I mean, how did that go? What was that experience like for you?
So my aunt was a florist in California. I'm originally from Michigan. And so from the time I was 7 years old, I would come every summer and spend the summer with her. And at that time, she worked for someone else. And I would go to the flower shop with her during the summer and clean carnations and chop flowers and put them in buckets and make bouquets. The florist that she worked for many years was a cemetery florist, which, it was right there. They had like 4 giant cemeteries. So it was, fun. They let the 7-year-old make cemetery bouquets and put them out there and, that sort of thing. So that's kind of where it started. And then when I became a teenager after high school, I moved to California, and my aunt then opened her store with me, and we worked together up until the last 5 years. Unfortunately, she got dementia and Alzheimer's, and we were no longer able to work together. And so, which was, it was hard. You spend your whole life every single day with somebody. It's been kind of a change, but I'm still doing what she would do. She had a very unique personality. You would have liked her firm because she really liked to tell it like it is.
Love it.
So she had no problem telling whoever it was, so and over the years we worked on some projects together. Her and I did work on the inauguration. One year I've done the presidential inauguration twice, but her and I did it together, and that was fun.
That's awesome.
Which presidents?
President Bush, George
W.
George W. Was the one I did with my aunt. And then I worked on George Sr. One other time with SAF. I don't really know how they do that anymore. It used to be through SAF, and SAF would reach out to most of the team was AIFD designers, and we would break off into teams, and then we would each have individual projects that we would do for the inauguration. So it was a really great experience. I mean, it was something that I definitely would do again if I was asked,
That's super cool. That's it. That's like a common story. Like the florists start from the bottom. Everybody, they start cleaning buckets and keeping the store clean, and then they start, greening up some stuff, and then slowly but surely they get trained and they get taught, and then they get the hook.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Then they turn into lifers.
Right. And then they go, all over the world and get to, do great programs and see, great displays that they do. I haven't been to some of those, but I have been to a lot of the ones here in the United States. And I know that, again, like you said, you just get hooked on it.
Yeah.
How did you find out about your first symposium? What drove you to go there?
I had a friend who's also still a friend. He was a member, and he encouraged me to come to see, and then that was it. After that, that was it. Yeah, I went through my PFDE testing, or we didn't call it that back then. I mean, I'm talking like I said, the 80s. So it was a little different process than it is now, but kind of along the same lines. And so I did that, and then I became inducted the next year in 1989 in Chicago. So
that's where we met, in Chicago. That's funny.
Yeah.
And that was my first symposium, and let me tell you, what an experience. right? First, I got a behind the scenes look, of all the work that was being done downstairs and the stage pieces and, getting to see all the flowers in use before they're brought on stage, as people are opening them and who likes them one way and how somebody's working a different style. And then you get a Japanese style. And it was just such an amazing mix of floral art that I was blown away. And just talking with everybody and seeing everybody and oh man, I didn't know you were AIFD and oh, what are you doing here, and getting to see the different cast of characters and sit down and talk with everybody in one room, where you find out everybody at AIFD is there donating their time. It's all based on everybody donating their time, people donating the flowers, trucking companies donating the delivery, all the volunteering that goes on to teach classes, or the people that just took their or are taking their AIFD and to help do some of the work behind the scenes of processing flowers and everything that people put into it. And it is so passionate, such a
But
passionate
don't most of the
demand.
people that get to that level want to be teachers? Don't they want to like teach the next person how to do it? A lot of it's educational, right? There's a lot
yeah. We provide a lot of education. The AIFD Foundation, does scholarships to different classes and things like that. And so, yeah, we definitely want to continue the education.
How does one qualify to get a scholarship? How does that work? That's cool.
They go through just like any other scholarship process. They send their information to the foundation. It gets reviewed as to sometimes we sponsor people that are not necessarily students. They may be a florist that had been a florist for, like myself, 43 years, and they want to go to Symposium. And so they apply for this scholarship, and then the foundation will pay for them to come to their very first symposium. We normally have like at least 100 what we call our new timer orientation, or new attendees associated. And it's usually about over 100 people every year that come to Symposium that have never been to a Symposium. I mean, there's a lot of repeat offenders like myself that, come every year and, see everything and, that sort of thing. Unfortunately, a lot of times when you're mentioning the volunteer part of it, I spend a lot of time in the workroom. I don't get to necessarily always see everything that goes. I'll see it in the workroom, but I might not actually see it on the stage, just because of the amount of work. I know, Fern, you saw the amount of flowers that come into that work.
Crazy. It is crazy.
Isn't it?
And everyone's working almost around the clock. Like you'll be coming back from dinner, or you'll be coming back from the bar, and you see someone walking in the hallway like, hey, you okay? And they're like just exhausted because they've been processing flowers or working on a big piece all day long. Like I thought it's awesome. And the fact that everybody volunteers just blows my mind.
And everyone's working not just towards the stage presentations, but everywhere in AIFD, it's beautiful. Like the whole hotel, all your everything's done like meticulously.
There's flowers everywhere, everywhere you look.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's so many committees to, the presentation bouquets. I mean, all of the different areas for the lobby decor, opening reception, all the different things we want flowers everywhere. And that's what we do. And we always have a Blooms project, which is for us to be able to use any unused product so that it doesn't get thrown away. And depending on where we are, a lot of times it goes to hospice, it goes to veterans' homes. Sometimes we do something where you'll do something. A few years ago, they did something in Chicago, not this past time, but the other time we were there, where they went out on the street and made bouquets and were handing bouquets to people. That year was the year that cool. We what is it called? The Taste of Chicago, which is normally right across from that hotel when we're in Chicago. But because
that was my first.
Yeah, we had NASCAR this year, so they moved that date or whatever. So they went outside and they were handing people flowers. It was kind of funny because some of the volunteers came back and they were like, no, people were like they were like mean to us. They wanted us, they thought we wanted them to pay and all this other stuff. And I said, and she goes, and then there were other people that were like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, and so yeah, so it's kind of a weird reaction, I think. And so again, this year we have a Blooms project, and they're planning on distributing over 2,000 bouquets to all of the different, homes and, nursing homes, things like that, things where people, I do that from my flower shop on a regular basis, because I know that sometimes those people are forgotten. And, it's not that you necessarily want to forget them, but life gets busy and that sort of thing. And so I just always, at the end of a holiday, I always send my drivers over to the homes in our area and drop off some additional bouquets or things like that I know that it could be repurposed. And, I don't know. That's a little bit of me spreading my flowers outside of what I normally do,
That is awesome. It's beautiful that you do that. So, Lori, which symposium or which city was your favorite city to host the symposium or be at?
Oh, well, okay. So that's an unfair question, considering that I, like I said, have been a coordinator for 3 other times. So I'm guessing I'm going to choose all 3 of those, which the first one was Palm Desert. It was our very first time to be in Palm Desert. This next year we'll be in Palm Springs, not Palm Desert, but as you know, it's near there.
I didn't know that there was a difference. I didn't know that there was a Palm Desert.
Oh, okay. So you've never been to Palm Springs? Okay. So yeah, so as you come in to Palm Springs, it's Palm Springs, and then it is like, it's all kind of considered desert cities. So you go to Rancho Mirage, and then Palm Desert is on the outskirts of that. So even though it's probably only maybe 10 miles between there or whatever, Palm Springs has a different vibe than Palm Desert. Palm Desert is a lot of like really old money and, that sort of situation. Palm Springs is definitely a more fun type of place. So that's where we're
Palm Springs where they have Coachella?
Coachella is even further outside of Palm Desert.
It's like crossing the river from Miami Springs to Hialeah.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah. And Coachella, Stagecoach and Coachella is out that way.
You guys didn't go to the SAF that was in Palm Springs?
No.
No? A couple years ago, yeah, that was there.
So Olga,
we were there, but we weren't.
Olga goes every year.
SAF or AIFD?
Yeah.
No, SAF. SAF.
We were there.
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
I wasn't there.
Well, we used to do SAF differently. We didn't used to have a display and stuff. We would just kind of like pop in
and pop out.
Yeah.
So that was.
So the other places that we've been that have been, obviously Chicago is one of my favorites because I love Chicago.
Go Chicago.
Yeah.
I was raised up there, so that's my favorite city in the world, except in the month of November.
Right. I don't know. I guess it just really depends on what my favorite part is, because as a coordinator, when I look at these properties, the first place I go to is the loading dock. So there you go. So that's
how big is the loading dock?
That's all I'm interested in, is how big is the loading dock? How many bays do I have? How many places can I load in, and how does it load into the flower room?
That's smart. Let me tell you, that's the last place people usually go. That's smart, man. Right. I like that.
Yeah, I know. They think I'm weird, but I'm like,
no,
you know what?
Brilliant.
Okay, so I'm gonna retweak this question.
Okay.
What city has been the best AIFD that you can think of?
The best. In what terms? Like the best bars to be able to hang out in, the best restaurant?
That's what fun means, yeah.
Yeah, where people had the most fun. People
where the
had
bar
the
at?
most fun.
where they had the most fun. I can honestly say, and this was a terrible logistic, but I want to say San Francisco is one of the places where everybody seemed to have the most fun. It was, it's just one of those kind of cities where,
The wine is fantastic in San Francisco.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to see if you're not, stuck in a workroom, that sort of thing. Shitty loading dock, I'll tell you that right now. So, yeah. The other thing I like too, Mike, is I always check out the freight elevators too. So, yeah.
Important.
She's got the logistics down. She is not messing around.
Yeah. Last year's freight elevator, oh Lord. I mean, when they were leading me through the back, I was like, wait, I got to go back and get some breadcrumbs because I will never, ever find this again. I mean, it was just crazy. But, that hotel is 100 years old. So, you have to keep in mind that they house us and they try to, do all that. But, yeah, so we haven't been in Orlando for like 20 some years. I think the last time we were in Orlando was like 22 or 23 years ago. And so it's going to be kind of exciting to see. I think that, being in Florida is definitely a good thing. I mean, I'll tell you right now, for logistics, again, sorry, it's good because, Miami, everything comes through Miami, most of it. We do get trucks from California, but the majority of it comes through Miami. So it's kind of nice to be that close. So I don't know what too much to expect. I know it's hot there in the summer and humid. It will be hot in Palm Springs, but as we say in California, it's a dry heat. So,
No, it's the weather. The weather absolutely sucks as Mimi is held captive in Captiva because of the weather. But it is better. It is better in Florida. I'll take the wet heat for a couple months of the year over the dry heat. I'll take it. Mimi's worried. I don't have to worry about my hair days. So it's a beautiful thing, right? My beard looks great in any humidity. So for me, it's fantastic. I love it here. But
my beard looks great in any humidity.
Yes. I don't have to worry about my beard. That's the only hair I have. What can I tell
It's not even like Jimmy the Tulip beard where it even matters.
No,
like,
Jimmy,
what are we talking about?
Jimmy the Tulip is Flower Gandalf.
Wait, which beard are we referring to?
It took you a minute, right?
It took me a minute. I'm over you, Ryan.
I still don't get it.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah. Moving on.
Lori, how many
hair in the humidity
years?
is a big concern.
It's a big concern. Lori, how many years were you chair?
I did it 3 times, and this will be my 4th.
This will be your 4th. And what's the process? How is it? How do they select the person that becomes chair?
Well, it's selected by the vice president of the organization at the time because it's a 3-year process. So the vice president will select who they would like to be their symposium coordinator, and then usually the symposium coordinator will choose the program coordinator, which is what we did this year and what I've done in the past. So Frank Fasia is my my program coordinator. And so when the vice president will be actually the outgoing president at the symposium that they've chosen you for. So again, it's a 3-year process. You become a member of the national board. So although they have kind of perfected some of the meeting things like we're doing today, so I don't have to go like all over the world because as you know, from California, it's going to take me all day to get to Orlando. Yeah. So, and same for whatever. So then you just start planning the process. We have a symposium coordinator that has been hired by our management company, and we work together, the 3 of us, planning, choosing programs, finding designers, and then all the fun stuff of the contracts and all that good stuff, so.
Yeah.
We need to send some Disney speaking roses to the symposium since it's in Orlando.
Oh, that's a good idea or a bad idea. It could get us in
Don't
trouble.
Don't give away any of our plans yet. Actually,
you
this
already
will come
planned
out.
it?
Well, this will be coming out.
Will Mickey Mouse and Minnie
Right
Mouse be at
before.
Symposium?
I don't know. I have no idea. I know when we did do Symposium in Anaheim in 2016, and Minnie and Mickey were not available to come.
Maybe Daisy. That's who we need. We need Daisy Duck.
I want the off-brand ones that go to the ones in the neighborhood parking lots, and they
Right.
they twerk and everything like that.
Or when you go down to Hollywood Boulevard
Yes.
and you
Yeah,
get
exactly. The
attacked
Times
Oh, the
by
Square
all those-
superheroes
Yeah.
who pose for a
Yeah,
picture.
exactly.
You gotta give them $5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll bring Logan, Ryan.
Is it on a Disney
Logan
property?
run around as Spider-Man.
I feel like I feel like it is a Disney property because I feel like Mickey has pretty much taken over that entire area. And so it is a Hilton property, but it is right next to all of the Disney. So
It's the
I don't
Bonnet
know.
Creek, right? The Bonnet Creek.
Correct.
Bonnet Creek, technically, it's like in there, but it's not technically.
It's not in
Disney
there, but it's
hotel,
in there.
But it is in there. So
What's the place we stayed at recently, Ryan? When the family went up to Disney.
That was a Disney hotel. That was
The
the
Swan,
Dolphin.
the
the
Dolphin.
Dolphin or the Swan, one or
The
the other.
Swan or the Dolphin, yeah.
I think it was the Dolphin. But all those Disney hotels are pricey. But Bonnet Creek is usually that's a good in between because it's right
It's
there
like
in the same area.
It's like a hidden,
but it's not
like
an
a
official.
hidden, correct.
Yeah. They're not like cast members working.
And
there.
that hotel was they just remodeled the whole lobby, so the lobby and all that should be open this year when we're there.
Fern, we stayed at the JW in the Bonnet Creek there a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that it's probably not a Disney property now that I think about it, because we don't have to deal with Union. And
Right.
so pretty much everything Disney is Union. So
Good to know for us too.
you can't avoid the Teamsters, or you want to try.
Let me tell you, the Teamsters taxed you $1,000, Ryan, for bringing 2 pallets in the building for that stupid show.
We got hit that fucking Florida store, man.
Okay,
They
we've
got us.
already said it. I believe it, Ryan. No more, no mas. They got us this year.
$1,000 just to bring
But
2 pallets
the same
inside.
exact show a couple months earlier, TPIE, no issues.
Yeah.
They changed all the rules on us. There was no commercial vehicles allowed, or if we wanted to have a commercial vehicle, they needed to unload it. They
For
wouldn't even allow
$1,000.
it.
Yeah.
That makes me even
Crazy.
happier that we loaded up front and we loaded into my truck and your car instead of going to the loading dock. I can't imagine what that
But
would
that's
cost.
terrible. They treat these horticultural shows, these flower shows, these kind of things. They treat them like we're the automotive industry. They treat
That's
they treat
also-
the same, like where they're doing a car show where they have $millions budgets. They treat these guys that are just trying to make a living.
We also greased
In
the
the
guy.
same-
The guy told us, take care of my guy, and I'll take some of the weight off of your total.
Yeah.
So that's the reduced price.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
That's the
imagine?
hustle.
Could you imagine
the
if you
hustle.
didn't give them anything? Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that happens no matter where you go. It's like one time we did a show in New Orleans. Remember, Ryan?
Yeah.
Did a show in New Orleans. They really got us over there. Oof.
Chicago,
And it was cash only.
Chicago
Yeah.
was unionized, right? Or
Yes.
Yeah, my cousin's in the
Most-
union in Chicago.
Most of the convention centers are staffed by unions. Most of them. The Jacob Javits is the worst of them all.
They talk about that. Oh my God, Mike, I gotta send you a clip. I'm watching a show the other day, and they talk about Ariama's on Staten Island.
See?
They said Ariama's on Staten Island. I recorded it. I rewinded
Why
it.
they
and
were going to a
recorded it.
garden center?
No, the guy was talking about going to get going to get a chicken
sandwich?
cutlet, a chicken
Chicken
cutlet, a
cutlet.
fucking
That's
chicken
funny.
cutlet from
That's
Ariama's.
funny.
How awesome is that? I got the video clip. I'm gonna send it to you afterwards.
Do you know the story about the chicken cutlets? I wasn't allowed in there ever again when I was a kid. So Lori, when I was a kid, I used to deliver flowers to Ariama's Garden Center on Staten Island.
Mhm.
And he was my exclusive customer. And we've been doing business for more than 40 years. He is the most loyal customer I've ever had. And back then, I used to go and I used to pick up my payment after the holidays. And one time, and the office to pay was across the street in the dad's deli. And his dad is famous for his chicken cutlet sandwiches. And when I got there, I was waiting outside the office, and they just finished frying up this giant tray of chicken cutlets, and they were sitting there just draining. The oil was just draining. And so I grabbed one. I grabbed one. And the father says, "Get that fat kid out of my kitchen. Don't ever let him in here again." Oh, man, I got a lot of trouble over that chicken cutlet. But I get it, how people want to go there to get a chicken cutlet sandwich, because back in those days, that was the number one. Wow.
Right.
So much show it was on the show I was watching. I just sent it to the sales chat. It blew me away. I'm sorry.
That's awesome.
I'll forever think about chicken cutlets and Ariama's.
So being out in California, you must have some amazing supply. You must find the most amazing products out there to use.
Well, it's still a challenge. I mean, I'll tell you that the pandemic, when we were shut down, was probably the worst week of my life, when our illustrious governor decided to reopen California on the Friday before Mother's Day. And literally the way I was getting my flowers was like backdoor in the old days, when you used to buy whatever, off of a truck. And so because nobody was supposed to be open, but we were all anticipating what we could do. And so, it was very scary. It was, I'll remember, like, I went outside, I was in my flower shop. There was probably, my flower shop's, not that big. It's, maybe 1,800 square feet. And so there was a line of people out the door to get in. And when I went out the back door to get a box for a customer to carry something out, the line was all the way around my shop and all the way past the back door of my store onto my property that's behind me, where I have a refrigerated truck as well. And I literally, you know what? I'm not a crier. It takes a lot to make me cry. And I literally thought I was going to melt down. I just was like, and we were out of flowers, and I found out that we were able to get other shipments. So I sent my husband to Los Angeles. I sent my daughter to 2 other areas. I sent 2 of my other drivers, and we just told people, come back tomorrow, we'll regroup. And that's what we did. And so I'm just glad that I've only had to do that once. And I don't ever want to do that again.
Yes,
because
so.
Again, normally it's the Los Angeles market has changed a lot. It's very different down there over the years and stuff. But again, we get.
Is it becoming kind of retail kind of a thing?
It has. It
letting
really
the public in and stuff like that.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, they say they let the public in after 9 o'clock or whatever, but a lot of the places that used to sell flowers to florists, you now see them selling like actual arrangements and standing sprays and things like that, and so and again, you have people come into your store and say, oh, well, I can go to LA and get something probably cheaper. Well, I live 40 miles from Los Angeles, and most of the time it will take me 2.5 hours to get to Los Angeles.
Oh my God.
So if I hit the window of opportunity and leave my house at 3:30 in the morning, I can get there in 40 minutes. But anything,
it's like driving to work for us. It's the same.
Yeah.
We have the same thing.
So past 3:30.
Not me.
you're fucked. So there it is. So
Yeah.
but,
So
but
we have a constant battle in our wholesale cash and carry. We have a constant battle with public trying to come in to buy flowers, and like I just imagine myself as one of my loyal customers that comes in every week and they're buying flowers every week, and some person wants to come in and like bypass a florist and just come in and buy a bunch of roses.
right.
I saved money. I went to the distributor. I bought a bunch of roses. So like we try to vet people when they come in, and we try to keep them from not coming in. It isn't a time of day situation. It's like we don't. I mean, some people that might disagree with me, and I respect their decisions too. But in my mind, I feel like I want to respect the customer that's coming in to supply themselves on a daily, weekly basis. I want to respect them by not being that one guy in Miami out of like 500 who isn't selling directly to the public, at least willingly and knowingly. People come in, they represent themselves. Yeah, I'm doing an event and I'm here to buy a lot of flowers. So, okay, so maybe that person can come in but the average Joe, and I'm seeing this in markets all over the country that but on the other side, we have to understand that their rents are going up and it costs a lot of money for labor and just the cost of doing business is just so high that they need to retain some business somehow. And then on the same coin, on the same kind of direction, the supply chain is all screwed up too, because florists are not taking a lot of their nuts and bolts. They're not taking that from their local wholesaler. They're using their local wholesaler for a last minute filling guy and stuff like that. So you really can't blame them for doing what they're doing. The whole supply chain is a big hot mess, but I do understand when you say that, customers are coming out, I can go to Trader Joe's and I can buy, 6 peonies for $20 and you're charging me $3 a stem. I get it. But
it's unfair. It's unfair. At the same time, they don't want to give any cash value to the person's experience and getting something professionally delivered and arranging an arrangement that's going to last you a week, not throwing some flowers in a vase or it's a touchy line. And you're right, Pete. The cost of doing business is tough. I just feel that we as
suppliers have a responsibility to keep the florist
correct
in mind with everything we do.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of just thinking about how much money we can make today, it's like, how can we make money and make sure that we're trying to keep the florist in business at the same time?
Yeah.
Right. No, I agree. I think we have to, as the customer has a lot of different opportunities to be able to buy. Mass market. It's not just the grocery stores. It's everywhere. I mean, again, if they want to, like you're saying, people come to me because they want a professional arrangement. They want flowers that are going to last. They're willing to make that investment, to not have to, do I see people in the grocery store picking up flowers? Sure. Are there holidays that have gone basically to the grocery stores and the mass markets? Yes. Like Thanksgiving, is a holiday that used to be a huge holiday for us as florists. But I get it. In California, the price of groceries, the price of gas, we have additional taxes on everything you buy. In California, it's very expensive to live here. So when it costs you $500 to make one dinner for a very small group of people, I get it. You're not going to maybe come and spend another, $150, $200.
I think Ryan's mom spends that much at honey baked ham. I think she spends that much just on the pies and the ham and all that stuff that she buys there.
It's almost almost crippling sometimes because of the taxes.
Marco Groot from Hilverda de Boer was on our podcast a week or two ago, and he made a great point. He made a great point that we're going more and more into the digital age, and more people are ordering their shit online to be delivered, and that impulse buy of that flowers in the supermarket won't be one of them. You know, people are not. I don't really think people are going to click on, yeah, give me a bouquet with my groceries when you deliver it. I don't think so.
You
I think
really
he had a
have
really
to
good
need
point.
those flowers to remember to buy that, because if the
Yeah.
app doesn't show me what to buy, I'll forget half
Yeah.
the things I need versus when I walk the grocery store and walk through the aisles.
Yeah, but every person I know buys more online than they used to.
Unfortunately,
And
that's
it's going to
very
keep
true.
going. It's going to keep going. I can't drive home without seeing like 20 little Kroger vans running around. And they came out of nowhere. Like we didn't even have Kroger
We still
a
don't
year
have
ago.
Kroger. They're shopping at Publix. It's weird.
But the vans are everywhere.
And those are refrigerated vans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, little refrigerated vans from Kroger's running around. There's no flowers in there.
No.
But when you see Publix trailers, Publix is our main big supermarket chain down here, and on their trailers they have pictures of flowers and stuff on their trailers. You see them on the highway. But I do think, though, Marco has a great point that over time, 10 years, whatever, over time, people will not be buying the same amount of flowers they're buying at the supermarket today because of the impulse buy. Only the people that are going there are going to buy it.
That's funny that you mentioned that clip, because that's literally the clip that Joel and I selected to.
I thought it was brilliant. I was like, wow, that's a really good point.
Clip we're using.
Yep.
That was a really good point. But then it doesn't also stop the growers, the wholesalers, the importers, the distributors. Everybody's chasing the same dollar when it comes to selling.
Everybody is chasing the same.
And the supermarkets know it.
Yeah.
And they take advantage.
And they pin them against each other for pennies. It's crazy. It's wild.
I did it for many, many years. I threw in the towel about, 6, 7 years ago. I said, that's it for me.
You added years to your life by doing that. Just saying.
Yes. Yeah. I'm really 84.
Not 61. Mike just had a birthday, fatties. I don't know if you know that.
You can do that. You can get your body tested and to see how old you are by your stats.
I don't want to hear.
Doesn't matter my age. I have a lot of miles.
That's what it would tell you. It would probably round you up a little bit for that.
Yeah.
It's gonna tell Mike you might have chronic back problems.
But yeah, we as suppliers have a responsibility to make sure that the florists are well supplied, and that they're the priority, and to try to limit the bypass when you can. That's what I feel,
Here, I second that.
And there are those that say, well, if I don't sell it to them, the next guy will. And that's also a good point, because I have customers that are not from Miami area. That maybe, let's say they're in California, wherever they're from.
Bless you.
And we don't have a wholesale relationship in that area. And somebody wants to buy flowers, and they're going to buy they have an account on a trucking line, or they're going to ship responsibly. They have a way. Then sure, we're going to sell to them.
Yeah.
But
that's a good point. Also, maybe location that plays a huge factor in it. Because here in Miami, it's like it's a hub. There's so many options and market levels and things like that. It's easier for us to control it because we could send them down the road on other options. Where in other places, there's only 2 options in town, and they're looking for anything else. They'll go through Miami. They'll go through the farms.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, the farms are I'm sure in California too. The farms are selling to whoever calls. They have
farms are closing and selling their property or leasing their property to grow cannabis in California because that's where the money is. And I get it, but it's
Do you do any cannabis infused arrangements?
No, not.
I've seen it.
Oh, yeah. They exist.
There could not be a more beautiful bouquet than getting some cannabis and peonies. I'm calling it now. Cannabis and peonies. If you messed up with your wife, if you can't go wrong if you give her cannabis and peonies.
I don't disagree with that.
Ryan, would Ashley not adore that?
She'd love it.
She'd love it. See, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
hey, you know what else I saw the other day? I saw Elizabeth Jamie from Calma had a TikTok talking about somebody who said, "Oh, I can buy those peonies at Trader Joe's for, cheaper money." And she went in there on the TikTok and she said, "Let me tell you, yes, you can. Yes, you can. But I'm not selling just flowers. I'm selling art. I'm selling talent. I'm selling something that is something that you're going to stand back and look at and say, wow, that's cool."
Yeah.
I like that. I like that she stood up and said that stuff. She didn't just, because there is a difference, huge difference.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I like the way that she said that. She said, some people get their nails done out, like in a salon, and some people just buy nail polish. Some people dye their hair themselves, or some people, there's a market for all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A lot of smart people out there, man, and a lot of flower fans and people that have a voice like that. They're speaking up and they're educating people who don't know the difference. Like we have people give us a bad Google review because we wouldn't give them a price on the phone. Shit like that, I don't know who you are.
I swear,
Yeah.
The quality of my life would improve if people had to have like a test before they did a Google review. Or they had to, they had to qualify that, you're able to review this place. The last 2 bad reviews we had were 1-star reviews, most likely from a couple who should not have been purchasing here, who was rude to an employee. And when they were asked to leave, they laughed, they left, and we got 2 1-star reviews. Unfair. No wording, no nothing said, just 1-star review. Okay.
Lori, we got a bad review on Google reviews, a 1-star review because we stopped operations to sing happy birthday to one of our employees.
Oh my God.
You can't make that stuff up. That is wild.
Well, I got a bad review one time because we always have had flower shop cats. So we have a cat, her name is Violet. And they didn't like that we had a cat. And so they gave us a bad review about how we should be more respectful to people that don't like cats or they're afraid of cats or whatever. I'm like,
how can you be afraid? Yeah, I was just about to say that. How could you be afraid of a cat?
Yeah, it's a cat. My God, And so, do I live my life every day walking around on eggshells because some entitled person thinks that they can give you a 1-star review for whatever or Yelp you or whatever? I don't. I'm with you. It's like, you know what? Have at me, So, and the best way that I think on that is when you don't do anything. You don't respond. You just turn your head away, because I think that's the bigger burn, because it's like, if you really had something to say to me, then pick up the phone or say it to my face. Why would you hide behind this platform? What does that do? And then I don't know that you ever have that much time, but if you do get a bad Yelp, do you ever go and look and see that person, what they...
I don't pay attention to Yelp, but we have a bad reviews on Yelp, sure.
I research everything about this person when I get a bad review. I want to know, what was the one you said, Mike, that the person gave a 1-star review to a Cold Stone?
Cold Stone.
This is literally 2 weeks in a row.
The same person who gave us a 1-star review. This person gave some kid in a Cold Stone Creamery a 1-star review. Some 16-year-old kid trying to make a few bucks to pay for gas after school. How do you do that?
How do you do that? How do you mess up ice cream? Ice cream can't be that bad. I've never had a bad experience.
It Yelp, but Yelp is the Yellow Pages.
What if the kid threw the cup of ice cream at the person?
Most likely, the person earned it. Most likely the person earned it. I don't know many kids that are gonna lose their job to throw ice cream at somebody.
You don't know many
kids?
It's
like Brad.
I don't.
It's like Brad from the movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Exactly.
When the guy thought the breakfast was cold and he got Brad fired.
May I help you? Yes. This is not the best breakfast I ever ate, and I'd like my money back.
Okay. I believe you have to fill out a form for that.
See that sign? It says 100% guaranteed. You know what the meaning of guarantee is? I am so tired of dealing with incompetence. It says 100% guaranteed, you moron.
Mister, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna kick 100% of your ass.
Is there a problem here? Can I help you, sir?
You bet you have a problem. Your employee here used profanity and threatened me with violence.
Mr. Hamilton, did you threaten this customer or use profanity in any way?
Yes.
You're fired.
But let me tell you, do you know that, Lori? You like
I
Fast
do.
Times at Ridgemont High?
I do.
That's what they did to Brad, man. The guy ate 90% of his breakfast and wants his money back because it was a little bit cold, a little bit undercooked, he said.
Joel's probably never.
There was no internet.
Never. Joel doesn't watch any TV.
Yeah.
All he watches is YouTube, I swear.
Okay,
He's seen 3 movies.
Too young. He's too young. He didn't know what a CB was. He's not going to know what Fast Time on Ridgemont High is.
That's your homework, Joel. That's a great movie to watch.
Right?
It's a great movie.
It is a good movie. I do.
And then we'll start calling Joel Spicoli, right?
Yeah.
Is that good?
No,
there he is. Look, zoom out. There you go, camera.
Mike has to be Spicoli. So
Too funny.
No, we've done a deal of the day with Casey's face on Spicoli, and it's spitting in. It's perfect. It's really good.
Casey Spicoli.
So,
in more ways than one.
My dad's Mr. Hand.
Oh, he's not.
No, I'm joking.
So Lori,
I'm joking.
You have a beautiful schedule for 2024 in Orlando. It is jam packed. What must we see? What must we do there?
Oh, well, all of the programs are going to be outstanding. I don't know if you know that the Nicholas Peters won the World Cup and he is going to be one of the programs. And so not to overshadow all the other ones, Tom DeHauer is doing a great program. Julia Rose is from Australia. She's doing a couture program that I think is going to be phenomenal.
I love the Australian accent.
I know, me too. Who else says? Some of the other designers, I don't know. Do you know Talmadge McLaurin?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Talmadge is our opening program.
Nice.
Oh, man, that guy's good.
Right?
It's going to be amazing.
But from what I understand, this program is entirely different than anything he's ever done. And it's taking you kind of like to the dark side of Talmadge. And so I am very intrigued by that.
Who's going, Ryan? Who's going up there?
The three of us.
Oh,
us and Olga.
You'll have to send me a video of that. I would love to see that. He's also one of our customers and friends. He works for Sunshine Bouquet across the street.
Okay.
And he comes into our cash and carry for sample material all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Talmadge will also be doing a installation at the Blooms and Birdies golf tournament.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Fatties, in case you need a reason to come down for SAF, right after SAF ends, August 10th, right?
August 10th.
Saturday, August 10th, second year, Blooms and
Blooms and Birdies golf tournament.
We're going bigger and better this year. Bigger and better.
Yeah. Every hole is sponsored by a floral company. It's we're gonna have several games. There's gonna be a couple closest to the pin, longest drive. Keep in mind, it's not just for golfers. We have all levels of people competing, and if you're just a rider of the cart and that's your style, and you want to have fun,
I'm right.
It's an option.
Mike, you gotta play with us, man. You gotta play. You cannot not play. Come on. We're gonna get serious this year, guys. So
Mike,
come on down,
I'll be
fatties.
on your team, Mike.
For Blooms and Birdies.
Are you a golfer, Lori?
We talked Talmadge.
No, I'm not a golfer.
Me neither. Trying to learn.
No, I don't even know that I would want to drive. I would drive the cart as long as there were cocktails involved, but I don't know that that's a good idea.
There's always cocktails involved.
Okay.
And then driving the cart is fun because if the person's being a pain, you just drive them into a tree and it's all kinds of fun.
Right.
Well, let's keep going. Talmadge is going to do a special installation. He's doing a presentation at AIFD. He's opening AIFD, right?
Yes.
I would say, knowing what I know right now at this moment in time, you don't want to miss the partners tables.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is partners tables. And then we go into the opening program with Talmadge, so you'll be right there. You can
Right
just
there.
go in.
From partners tables to Talmadge. I like that. T to T.
Yeah. So, and then I know you guys work a lot with Sarah Campbell. She's doing a program. So
Go Sarah.
yeah.
Sarah and her husband are good
Sarah,
golfers.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, yeah, and they're just who did I leave out? I don't know that I left out.
We have Ian too. Ian's doing
Ian and Zoe.
Zoe.
Yeah. Ian and
they're
Zoe
doing
are
it together? I love that.
Yes. Yeah. So, and there is Marlon Hargrove is doing a program for his sponsor is Floral Mart, and so it's quite a bit. And there are some other people that are doing some immersive installations. Dr. Solomon Leon is doing a display that will be up. We'll have the trends display from Keith White that will also be in the partners area there near the gallery.
So Lori, one quick question. You've talked a lot of good. Has there just been one symposium that was just a nightmare one way or another? You got any bad stories? Tell us some bad stories. Don't lie.
Bad stories. Well, I don't think there's really been any that were like a complete disaster. I mean, there's always something that happens that, last year one of our designers was stuck in the Netherlands and may or may not have been able to make his program. And so you do deal with, that sort of situations here and there. But I would say overall, because of the amount of volunteers that, put so much time into this, we always make it work. We always give something very professional and, give as much content and education as we can to the attendees.
Now, it's always been around 4th of July. I heard a rumor that next year it will not be around 4th of July. Is that true?
Right. Yes, we are off of 4th of July for next year. So, yeah. So, so I think that's, I hope in a good way, because a lot of people, I don't know, as a retail florist, 4th of July was never too much of an issue for me. It gives me an opportunity to sometimes close and let, my employees have extra days off because we're not that busy. So it never really affected me in that sense. That's why I always just plan for it. But I know that a lot of people have, expressed that they want to be with their families on 4th of July. They don't want to be at AIFD. So, next year we are July 11th through the 15th. So we're the weekend.
That was a good rumor, Mimi. Where'd you get that from?
Mimi's got all the cheese, man.
Yeah.
Mimi knows it all. Look at that. I love it. Oh, man. Lori, we're going to have some rapid fire questions. Was there anything that we didn't touch on that you wanted to talk about?
No, it's just that I don't know when this is going to air, but at some point they're going to close registration. So anybody that's interested, please contact.
When does registration close?
Well, I say they close registration, but they still always have the opportunity for you to walk up and get a registration. There may not be dinner tickets available or something along those lines.
Dinner tickets are very important, guys. That gala, that dinner gala is a big deal. Olga went all out. Yeah. Olga was looking super sharp. She was killing it. I was like, damn, girl, your husband know you wearing that. But no, everyone really goes all out for the gala. Varito had the most amazing little metal thing that he, the little things that he makes. No, everyone really goes all out. So guys, reach out, get your tickets for AIFD. Get out there, fatties. Go meet some amazing people who are all volunteering their time. I can't stress this enough. Everything there, everyone behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, and walking up and down, left and right, everyone's volunteering. So please go support AIFD. All right, Ryan, you're up. Questions.
All right, Lori, just give us your initial answers to whatever comes to mind first. Okay. What is your favorite flower?
A rose.
Any specific variety or just roses in general?
Any rose that I can sell all day long.
Yeah. Good answer. Good answer. What is the best sandwich?
Chicken sandwich.
Chicken parm.
But now I need a
Chicken
chicken
parm
cutlet.
I need one of those from Ariama's. I'm hungry.
What is the most overrated flower?
Oh, God. Stargazer lilies.
Oh.
What about underrated?
Underrated flower.
Skip it.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
I'm really bad at this, aren't I?
No, you're supposed to just go with your gut instinct. You don't have to think about it.
Superpower to win $1 million on a scratcher.
Every day or something, right? That'd be a good superpower.
She wants the power. She wants the power of luck. I like that.
I do.
The power of the Powerball.
The power of luck.
What is the scariest animal?
Not a cat, for sure. A snake. Oh, I hate snakes.
Yeah, for sure. I drew a blank.
If you could have lunch with a fictional character, dead or alive, or a real person or a famous person, who would it be?
Shirley MacLaine.
No.
Good answer.
Shirley
I love
MacLaine?
her. I love her.
I do too.
I love
I'm
Shirley
obsessed
MacLaine.
with her.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I just saw her on something. Yeah, she was just in a show I was watching that I didn't even know she was in, and I was like, "Oh, yeah."
I just watch Shirley MacLaine movies all the time, like on YouTube. I just watched What a Way to Go last night because I was feeling bad. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this because it makes me feel happy. Yeah. She's so awesome and crazy, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite?
What is your Lori? What's your go-to drunk food?
There you go.
Oh, In-N-Out burgers.
Ooh, California choice. How do you get it? What do you get? What's your order?
Oh, just the regular, the number 2 cheeseburger.
What what flowers would you like at your funeral?
Oh, there you go.
I hate asking that one. I'm like,
I like asking that one. I think nobody thinks about it, but we're all flower people. We should think about it.
I don't want a funeral. Right. But if you're gonna bring flowers,
your celebration of life, then.
Then yeah, bring lots of roses and make sure that some of them are the crazy dyed ones too. With all
color enhanced. It's the crazy color enhanced ones.
I am not a flower snob. I can tell you that. I know people that are flower snobs.
I was gonna say there's AIFDers, I'm sure, that are anti-color.
Okay, there might be a few of them in there, but you know what? I will sell that shit all day long at the price I get. So there you go. Yeah,
I think people are slowly coming around.
I love that Lori said flower snob, so now I know it's okay to say that.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, no, not a flower snob at all.
It's awesome.
Lori.
And what is the way to relax? Your go-to way to relax?
When I'm not doing AIFD all night, when I work at my flower shop and then I come home and do all of that. I watch more TV now than I ever did in my entire life with my husband. We pick a show and we watch together, and I drink a lot of wine. I like wine. So
red, white
wine.
I drink white wine, and and we sit there and we watch. Right now, we're watching Murders in the Building. So and Shirley MacLaine's on there. So there you go.
That's a good one.
Lori, if someone wants to get in contact with you, how can they reach out to you?
Well, they can go to the AIFD website for any information. For me personally, I don't know how you want to deliver it. I mean, I'm willing to give my phone number. I don't care.
No.
Whatever is an email or your social media tag.
Yeah. Well, probably the email would be the fastest way, which would be Lori Novak at AIFDpartners.com.
I guess you can call her on the CB too.
Well, yeah, because I know what that is, Mike.
Well, what is your handle is the question. What is your
Oh, okay. No, I never had a be, but I know what it is, Ryan. I mean, I'm old, but I'm not that old. Come on.
God,
I mean, you got to make one up on the spot real quick. I was
we need a handle for you. CB handle.
A handle? Okay.
My handle was the hard salami.
My husband calls me Flower Lady.
Right.
So there you go.
Flower Lady.
So I guess I'm the Flower Lady. He got it from his friend. His friend started calling me, instead of your wife, the Flower Lady. My husband's a surfer, so all of his friends are surfers. And
that's great.
You know what
That's
that gets you with surfers. So,
Lori, would you like to suggest a future guest for us to have on the podcast?
Oh, somebody from AIFD? Is that what you're looking for?
It could be anybody. It could be anybody.
Anyone in general?
In the floral industry, right?
In the floral industry. Wow. There's so many people that I don't even know which ones I don't know where to find the catalog of who you've had, but
what episode are we on, Joel?
This is 120.
120. We've had one repeat, Alex from Comet, right? So we have 119 guests.
Barely started.
118.
We're just getting 118.
Technically 118.
Are we doing one from SAF? Since we're so close?
We could. That's an option.
We did one time in the Outstanding Varieties competition room.
Yeah. We can make that happen. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, we show Outstanding Varieties at AIFD as well. So there will be there's a new person now. It's not Stephanie, it's Lizzie. Lizzie's the person working on that. I don't know. Have you ever talked to Kate Penn from SAF?
Oh yeah, she let us do it there last time. If we just haven't coordinated it with us, but
she was a guest also. Yeah,
she was a guest. She was a guest on.
Yeah, she's another person I admire. I love her. She's so awesome. Has a lot of knowledge. Yeah. So
we can get either we call her Aunt Janet from
we need to have
AIFD,
Talmadge
or Cameron. I met Cameron at the at Flori Expo. He was working the booth there. He'd be a good guest too.
Yeah, Cameron. You've already said you had Marco, right? From Hilda Vavor. He's a character. What about Will from Ochoa's Greens? Do you guys know Will? No?
I think Casey knows him.
Casey knows Will.
He's a hippie and he's a trip. I mean, he is so funny.
We're all a bunch of hippies at the end of the day, I'll tell you that.
But he's our people. He's a flower hippie. So he
Joelle, write that down. Will from
I got it.
You got it, Mimi?
Yeah, from Ochoa's. He would be very entertaining. I think he would probably give Fern a run for his money. He's pretty,
bring it on.
Yeah.
Mimi, also suggestion. Ralph and JP from Wellington, from Florida State, and JP's VP. But Ralph and JP would love to be on the podcast. They said they're even willing to come down to the office.
Okay, great.
That's a good one.
That'd be a good episode. Especially after this year's Florida State.
Yeah.
All right, so
totally.
We are good. No more questions? Anything we missed? Anybody miss a question?
Nope.
Lori, we can't thank you enough. Lori Novak, AIFD, CFD, donates a lot of her free time to the AIFD organization. She's worked it from top to bottom since 1988. That was only 5 years ago. She's not that old. She does know what a CB radio is, but it's only because she pays attention. Joelle's just a little lost in YouTube. Thank you so much for listening to our episode. This has been another episode of Two Fat Guys Talking Flowers, where we're always going to give you the good, the bad, and a very little bit of ugly about the flowers. Joelle, Ryan, Mimi, Mike, Lori, thank you for listening, guys. Have a great day.